The deadly police shooting.
It feels like my country doesn't love me.
Charlamagne, now is not the time to sit this one out.
It's time for Donkey of the Day.
America's is a big reality TV show.
On The Breakfast Club.
Would you rather have the black president or the white president?
I have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It's enough.
America has a problem.
Yes, Donkey today for Tuesday, December 3rd goes to President Joe Biden. First of all, drop on the clues bombs for Taylor made it, damn it.
Hey.
Boy, Taylor be killing them intros, don't she?
She did the intro yesterday. Oh,
Crazy. She just being there high, working. Go ahead, Taylor.
Please don't play with her like that.
She do be though. Now, if you haven't heard, President Joe Biden pardoned his son, Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden was convicted by a jury in June of illegally buying and possessing a gun as a drug user. He then pleaded guilty in September to 9 tax offenses, stemming from $1.4 million in taxes that he didn't pay while blowing bags on escorts, strippers, cars, and drugs. Lord have mercy. Drop on the clues bombs for Hunter Biden. Who do you think he is? Future? Let's go to CNN for the report, please.
The president issuing a full and unconditional pardon to his son Hunter after repeatedly insisting in public that he wouldn't do it. And to defend his decision, the president adopted an argument that could have come straight out of Donald Trump's playbook. Blame your political opponents and claim unfair persecution. President Biden said this, quote, "The charges in his cases came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election." The president adding, quote, "No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son. And that is wrong," end quote. President Biden pardoning his son not just for the gun crimes for which he was convicted and not just for the tax crimes for which he pled guilty. Instead, Biden gave his son an extraordinarily sweeping pardon for any and all crimes he committed, may have committed, or even merely been involved in at any point in the last 10 years.
Got to cover up those things that happened in Ukraine. Just like anything else that happens in our society, though, there's been mixed reactions to Biden pardoning his son. Let me be the first to tell you, I don't care. Okay, as I said yesterday, I don't care if he pardons his son. I just want Democrats to stop acting like they are on this moral high ground politically when they have shown us time and time again they are not. Okay, stop acting like they're the pure party and Republicans aren't, because what happens in situations like this, when you are always calling someone else out, people expect you to be perfect. And in politics, we know nobody is perfect, so the least we should realistically expect you to be is better. And Biden pardoning his son for crimes that he actually committed isn't showing they are better. And you know who's to blame for that? Joe Biden. Joe Biden and his administration, okay? Because once again, like they tend to do, they volunteered a lie. President Biden, nobody would care about you pardoning your son if you didn't say over and over that you wouldn't pardon your son, okay? Nobody would care about you pardoning your son if you didn't have your press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, constantly saying that you wouldn't pardon your son. You were the one who said you would never pardon your son because you have a respect for the rule of law, okay? The reason you are getting this backlash is because Democrats always want to act like they stand on this moral high ground. I see all these folks comparing Biden's pardons to all the folks Trump is pardoned, and you know the difference? Trump is unapologetic about it. He pardons his people, gives them jobs in his administration, and he doesn't explain it or act like he's above doing it. Meanwhile, this is what you and your press secretary have sounded like every single time you were asked if you would pardon your son.
Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well,
I just said no. I just answered.
When would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear and I said no.
You said before that the president would not pardon his son. Is that still the case?
Nothing has changed. That is still the case.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes. I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
I could speak for the president, and he said he would not pardon his son.
Does the president have any intention of pardoning him?
We've been asked that question multiple times. Our answer stands, which is no.
Man, dropping the clues bombs for Karine Jean-Pierre. Boy, she's so tired of lying for y'all white people. My God. Now, I know folks are saying Biden changed his mind and you have the right to change your mind. Sure. I agree with that. But I was reading an article on CNN this morning, and it said multiple officials who recently worked for Joe Biden said they never believed the president or White House aides speaking on his behalf when they insisted in recent months that a pardon for Hunter Biden was off the table. A former senior West Wing aide said anyone who was even close to the top knew that he was probably going to do this. So why did we pretend otherwise? That's what us inquiring minds want to know, President Biden. And that's the reason you are getting backlash about this. You said in your statement that you just came to this conclusion over the weekend. Yeah, right. According to CNN, sources familiar with Hunter Biden's legal strategy said he would have never agreed to plead guilty in September to all 9 charges in the federal tax case, exposing himself to the possibility of 17 years in prison and more than $1 million in fines without the expectation of clemency. So once again, Joe Biden and the Democrats, why act like you're above doing any of this? Democratic Representative Greg Stanton of Arizona said that while he respects the president, I think he got this one wrong. This wasn't a politically motivated prosecution. Hunter committed felonies and was convicted by a jury of his peers. I agree. He committed felonies and was convicted by a jury of his peers. But he got a daddy who's pretty important, and that daddy isn't going to let him go down. Okay, once again, I'm not mad Joe Biden pardoned his son. I just wish Democrats would stop being cowards and stand on whatever business they are choosing to stand on, even though this decision is very self-serving, okay? And that's the other thing. Some of you liberals are out there spiking the football, acting like this is some sort of lick back. No. Knock it off, okay? This doesn't benefit anybody except the Biden family, and it's not a lick back. If you think it's a lick back, that's a false equivalency, okay? You lost the election, all right? Trump is in control of all 3 branches of government. Hunter Biden being pardoned, it's not the same. Okay, that's not a lick back. Get the F out of here. All right. I wish that Democrats in the administration also wouldn't be anonymous. Whoever told CNN that I wonder if there was a way to be less righteous about it and more like we're not spending our time thinking about that. The same aide that I mentioned before said there were multiple ways Biden could have left the door open to a pardon rather than ruling out its possibility altogether. It's really that simple. The backlash wouldn't be so intense if you hadn't been so adamant about not pardoning him in the first place. Please give President Joe Biden the biggest hee-haw. And also, Joe, President Biden, I have a way that you can change the narrative. Okay, you about to be out. You really want to shake things up? People are questioning your legacy. To me, your legacy will always be tied to the 86 Anti-Drug Abuse Act. The 86 Anti-Drug Abuse Act and the 94 Crime Bill. You're the proud author of both those bills. So how about pardon everybody in federal prison for a nonviolent weed offense? We've been saying that for a couple of years. That would be something interesting. That would get everybody talking about something else.
Yep.
And you don't care, you about to be out. And you should do that for your legacy because of the 86 Anti-Drug Abuse Act, because of the mandatory minimum sentencing. It's people still in prison.
Yeah.
Because of laws that you implemented. Because of the 94 Crime Bill, there's people still in prison because of laws you implemented. So how about pardon everybody in federal prison for a nonviolent weed offense? It don't make no sense to me that weed is damn near legal in most of the country, whether recreationally or medicinally. I think I said that word right.
Medicinal.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. But
close.
either way, well, I own a dispensary. Either way. But my point is, God bless America.
That's right.
I don't even be able to pronounce it to own it. But my point is, pardon everybody in federal prison for a nonviolent weed offense. Yeah. You really want to shake things up.
I agree with you. Well, thank you for that donkey today. We opening up the phone lines?
Let's open up the phone
people's
lines.
opinions.
Let's see what the people say.
585-1051. You know what disturbs me, though? What disturbs me, what really bothers me?
It don't matter. I don't know what you just said.
Disturbs.
The turbs.
You know what disturbs me?
We understand each other. We don't got to pronounce things correctly. Who cares that we on the radio?
That's right.
Dumb as a brick.
What pisses
what disturbs
me
you, man?
Is there's a lot of people out there. Just think about it like this. Let's think about if you had a gun charge and you got to serve 3 years.
Yes.
And you look at this white boy, right? That's going home.
It ain't even that he white.
He had prostitutes. He had allegedly crack and cocaine, allegedly.
Good time. Come on, tell me some more about this good time this man was having.
He did his thing overseas with the Ukrainians.
Yeah.
Right? And he had a gun charge. And he going home before Christmas.
Well, guess what?
And I got a gun charge my first time, and I got to sit here for 3 years?
Well, your daddy should have made better choices. Your daddy should have been president. He could have got you off. Okay?
I thought the Democrats were for the people.
That's the whole point of the donkey today.
His people. That's effed up.
It is. Well, is it? Is it effed up or is it just business?
Well,
If I'm the president, it's just business. It's just family business.
What you saying?
All right, well, let's open up the phone lines. Let's discuss. 800-585-1051. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Donkey of the Day is sponsored by renowned personal injury attorney Michael the Bull Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey when you need a fighter on your side. If you're ever injured, go to michaelthebull.com. That's michaelthebull.com. And when you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.